Hi, what's up, developers? We are in the third video of our series, and we discussed previously about the inline CSS and internal CSS. Now, in this video, I'm going to try to pitch the external CSS for you. As you remember, in inline CSS, a lot of code is going to be generated because you have to put CSS on each line, on each tag. And for in the internal CSS, you have a plus point that you don't need to put CSS on each item, element, or tag, so you can use one style for multiple items. That was a plus point. But again, if you have multiple pages in a website and there are areas that are similar in all the pages, like the navigation bar, like the footer, like the sidebar, or some places in content, so when you use the internal CSS, again, that was the case that these areas or these parts of different pages across your website, you have to put repeated code in each page. So a solution was built for that, to use the external CSS. When you use external CSS, you give one style, or you write one code for an item, and you can use it in multiple pages many times across your website. So that's a very good and high level, and you don't need to repeat your code, and you can avoid the code redundancy. So how can we apply the external CSS? For that, I'm going to go very deep and start from the very basic. First, I'm going to create a folder and create multiple pages and link the external CSS to the different pages, so you can understand that we can use one style in the multiple pages and multiple times inside that pages. Let's say here I'll create a new folder called landing page. Okay, and just open it in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, opened. Now we have our folder here. The first file that I'm going to create is very easy. You have the new file option here, new file, index.html. That's it. And beside that, I'll create a new folder. The folder, because I have to put my CSS files there, it is about the file organization. Your files inside a project, inside a folder, must be well organized, so that in the future you or other developers can easily understand or find different files. So I'll create a folder here. This the same folder we got here. If we navigate to the inside, we got the CSS folder here as well. And inside the CSS folder, I'll create a new file called style.css. So this will be our external CSS, and the .css extension is must. So let's see in the folder, inside the CSS folder, we got the file here as well. So that's very clear. And now it's time to write some HTML code. Put the title, for example, practicing CSS. And now let's link our external CSS to this file. Let's say we'll give a link tag under the title, and we just mention the address of our external CSS file here. So let's say we are in the index file. First we have to go to the CSS folder and then select the style.css file. So for the folder we'll put css /, and for the file name you can just save style.css. Now to check whether the file is correctly linked or not, we can just use the tag selector, which we discussed in the previous video. The selectors, the tag and the tag selector, and just make the background of our entire web page blue. So we'll go to the style.css and just say body, which is a tag selector, and just say the background color is a property of CSS, then the value, the color blue. Let's save it and open this index.html5. Okay, yeah, we got the blue background here for our, let's put some home page, some tag here. We got the home page here. And as I said, we can link one CSS file to multiple pages, so that will be the code redundancy will be avoided. Let's create another file and name it as about.html, and inside that let's put some, okay, about, let's put an h2 here, about page. Let's save. And now if we navigate to the about.html, we don't have the blue background because we have not linked yet. So under the title we can just again open the link tag and say that go to the css folder slash take the style.css file, save it, and we got the blue background for our about page. And again, if we just go to the index, we have the same thing here. So one style for multiple pages across your website and for multiple elements. We will practice that in the next videos. Thank you.